but it is not murky over at Mott and Chace. It is Wednesday. We've got Geb Masterson. He is the master of the universe down in South County, down to Watch Hill. Geb, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Josh. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you taking the time from squeezing away from cocktail parties with Taylor Swift and all the rest of the folks down there in Watch Hill. Let's jump right into it. Watch Hill is as hot a real estate market as there is on the eastern seaboard. I'm thinking about it, moving down there. I'm sure I don't have the money to buy down there, but I'm thinking about it. How many houses are on the market right now?
Currently in Watch Hill, we have just one house on the market. Yeah.
You have one house.
This house has been on the market on and off for the past 10 plus years. The price has come down from an original 18 million and it's now at about 4.5. It's $4.5 million.
It's at 4.5 million, down from 18.
Yes.
So it seems like this is in that special rack at Benny's, right?
Yes. And for the smart buyer, that's where we go first when we go into Benny's.
That's right. Those old Charleston Jews that maybe a little stiffer than the more chewy kind. This is that house. Why are there no houses? Why is there only one house for sale in all of Watch Hill?
I think Watch Hill, and I call it the Ocean House effect. When the Ocean House was redone about 14, 15 years ago, before that time, it was just, I want to say, old families that have been coming there for generations. We had a lot of families from out west, St. Louis crowd, and they knew of Watch Hill. Watch Hill was always sort of a hidden gem. You had the train there, easy access, but it was sort of off the beaten path. When the Ocean House was redone in a fabulous, renovation, basically I would say it's a reproduction, and a ton of money was put into it, and a new generation of people have discovered Watch Hill. And so how it normally goes these days is you come up, you've read about the Ocean House, you come up, you stay a few days, you come back, you spend a weekend, you come back, and then you maybe rent a place. The Ocean House has their cottage program, or you go outside and you just rent a normal house.
Sure.
And then you like the people, you like the area, you like everything. I mean, it's got beaches, it's got water activities, golf, tennis, whatever you need. And then they're like, geez, I could see myself here, and then they end up buying. Not a lot of people want to leave.
Right.
It's a very, very tight market down there right now.
So Chuck Royce, who's the one who revamped the Ocean House, a famous, I believe, Brown University grad, and Wall Street Titan, I believe, is the term that you have to use for somebody who has that amount of money. Titan is the word. Has transformed the community in many ways.
He really has. From the Ocean House to downtown Westerly, he has been a huge, I'd probably say the largest benefactor to the area. And, really, Watch Hill in the Westerly area for years. I grew up there. I've been coming there since I was born. And for years, it was always on the cusp of taking off, especially the Westerly area, downtown Westerly. And we'd always drive through. My mom would say, this is just about to take off. And this went on for about 30 years. And so finally, Chuck came in, and Chuck renovated the theater. He brought in music. He brought in the ballet. He renovated a bookstore. It's incredible. So now, you go downtown. It's not a big downtown Westerly. It's probably, eighth of a mile, but there's restaurants, bars, activities, great library. It's very nice.
Okay, so what does this mean are we going to see some houses enter onto the market? And as much as Chuck Royce, did Taylor Swift have a factor? It's about 10 years since she's bought the house. Is she an X factor as well, in which it makes it a little more celebrity cool?
I would say the younger generation, but the younger generation, it's very difficult right now to get into the Watch Hill Fire District under $2 million.
Yeah.
So listing does come on, might need some work that's under $2 million. It's snapped up right away.
Sure.
Definitely, Watch Hill got some notoriety, especially a few years back when Taylor was having her Fourth of July parties. But that's not really the crowd that's buying the houses. I mean,
Sure.
you'll see them downtown, you'll see them, walking around, and everyone, But yeah, it's definitely put Watch Hill on the map, but they're actually not our clients.
Gotcha. What are we going to see in the spring? Spring falls usually in Rhode Island, the spring selling season, especially in those waterfront communities where people are like, I want to get in here by the summertime. Are we going to see that one house on the market grow to 10 or 15, or is it going to be 5?
No, I think it'll probably be 3, maybe 3. Yeah, I actually have another listing coming on the market. It's on Avondale Road, beautiful listing. I know of 2 more that will be coming on. So I think we'd probably be going into the summer, maybe 3 or 4, and that is, yeah.
And the price range of these homes, we know that the single one is on the market is at the $4 million mark. What are we going to see at the top end of the market?
Top end of the market, you could probably be about 10.5.
Yeah. So
10.5, and again, that's probably that will be a waterfront property on the river with a dock, and it's wonderful, beautiful house.
I'm on Google Earth as soon as this interview is over, and I will be zooming in up and down the river. What does this say about the community? Expand a little further outside of Watch Hill. How's the rest of Westerly doing, and is it going to be that competitive to be able to find a home down in the greater Westerly area?
Yeah, no, it's a great question, Josh. Yes, the whole in the past, 10 or 15 years ago, Watch Hill is one of the fire districts in Rhode Island, and but in the past, if you lived in the fire district, it had certain cachet.
Sure.
Which really meant nothing except that you got 2 extra parking spaces downtown, which in Watch Hill is sort of a big deal.
Yeah.
But now what we find is the children, or the overflow, we would say, the next generation, they're buying outside the fire district, which is the smartest move going, because you can get a house drastically less. And if you belong to one of the clubs in Watch Hill, the Squamicut Golf Club, the Watch Hill Yacht Club.
Yeah.
There's other options there. If you have to be in a car for 2 minutes or 8 minutes, what's really the difference?
Right.
So you buy a little bit further out, you get a much more value, much better house, for that, and then you hop in your car and you go down to the beach and you use one of the clubs that you belong to.
And Weekapaug, which used to be even sleepier than Watch Hill, is now about as red hot as Watch Hill.
Yes, yeah, totally. I mean, Weekapaug is a wonderful, wonderful area. Still a little quieter, which it has a lot of appeal to a lot of people. Beautiful beaches. It has the the Weekapaug Inn, which is sister property to the Ocean House. A brand new yacht club that they redid about a year ago, and it's got a lot going for it. And it's, I would say it's probably a little more bike friendly, than Watch Hill might be these days.
Yeah, yeah. Go beyond, step all the way out, all of Westerly. Can you get into Westerly for under $500,000 these days?
Yes, yeah, you certainly can. And depending what you're looking for. I mean, if you're just looking for a weekend escape place,
Yeah.
nothing too large, 2 to 3 bedrooms, that needs a little work, you can still get in there. I think the median probably is, probably 650, 680 in Westerly, Westerly as a whole. But you can definitely get in there, and it's a great area. If you're coming in from New York or Boston and you just need to get away, you take the train, Amtrak right in, and it's a nice escape.
Okay, so let's talk about the environment. We saw some really pounding damage down at some of the South County beaches from this winter storms. We saw houses virtually wiped away. Certainly their foundations were undermined. How much of that is now starting to creep into the thinking of the community? You're down there, and how much of it is when folks are buying? Are they starting to think about what's the vulnerability of the property that I'm going to put anywhere from a couple million to $10 million in?
I think they are definitely, Josh, thinking about it a lot more, especially after this winter, as you mentioned. We had 2 or 3, I would say, large storms, but nothing like Superstorm Sandy. But
Yeah.
the beaches, the Mesquamaket area, sustained a lot of damage.
Right.
And so right now, there are crews down there dumping more sand in. They'll probably do some dredging offshore, bring more sand in, and I think eventually down the road, one of the coastal government agencies, CRMC or DEM, will have to say, okay, we are going to allow you to build up your revetment a little bit more, the seawall a little bit more.
Yeah.
Or some of these houses, they will be uninhabitable. And, at the end of the day, if something's uninhabitable, the town's not making the tax money off of it, and it's just, rules I think will definitely need to be changed or eased a little in terms of rebuilding the beaches.
A last question for you, Jeb. Somebody who's thinking about, God, I just love it down there. It's off the beaten track, that whole westerly area, Charleston down to Watch Hill, Napattree, the whole mix, and they hear this story of, there's only going to be 4 houses in Watch Hill. What's the solution for them to start thinking about trying to find a house down there for their family?
I would say definitely rent. There's nothing wrong with renting short term. Most of the rentals in the Watch Hill area are monthly, but you can also do it by maybe 2 weeks. Rent first. Try it out. Try out the area. Try out, go Watch Hill, go Weekapaug, go to Quaney. Quaney's another fantastic area. Next town up, Charlestown, and it's just wonderful. So rent and just see if your family likes it. See if you buy a place there, are the kids coming back? We all have this dream that we want the kids to come back and have the family home. Try it first. There's nothing wrong with it. Most of our buyers, I would say a good 75% of them have rented before, or they have a connection to the area. They've been up there visiting friends. So rent first if you can't find anything to buy.
And when you say Quaney, of course, you're talking Quanaketag.
Yes.
And do you have to be able to spell Quanaketag to be able to live there?
No. I think they let you off by just using the term Quaney. I'm pretty sure.
Just using the word Quaney, you are good to go.
Good to go.
All right. Spelling Bee will be in the next segment later on GoLocal Live. For everybody else, stay tuned. A lot of things going on. A big story on big announcement by Macy's, real repositioning of that company and what the implications are to 2 major retail stores that they have here in Rhode Island. I'll also take a look at a wave of violence committed by a man down in Newport and significant issues related to that. Also, we continue to cover this pallet homes, and the state, the McKee administration has been very reluctant to answer a couple of key questions that we've posed to them. So stay tuned to all that. Don't forget PC plays tonight, and I think everybody will be watching that. It has big implications. They play Marquette at Marquette, has big implications for the big dance. Everybody stay safe and stay tuned to our much, much